All right, so let's get started. It is February 25th, the 6:45 late show, um, as I call it. So we're going to be going over online registration in detail, confirming drivers, duplicate driver profiles, MRP Online Tickets, MRP Dropship Apparel, and common questions. Um, so if you do have any questions, as we're going through this, don't be afraid to ask them. I am going to get through all of the questions that are asked to me. If I don't get to yours right away, I do see it, so I will get to it when we reach kind of the question portion. If it's related to what we're talking about, I'll answer it. If there is a question you have that you don't want anyone else to see, you can actually go to the chat window there where it says to. You can put to Dev Inspect, and only I will see it. If I see that, I won't put your name down or anything. You can ask in privacy. Uh, so with that said, let's get started. We are in the test racetrack again. We're going to go to season management right here. And we are going to go to registrations. So I've set up a few different registrations um, here to kind of show off what we have. There are three different types of registrations that we have in the system. So the first is a yearly registration. This is going to be sort of the annual registration for drivers. This is going to be the one that they would use if they're going to be regulars at your racetrack. So if they're going to be racing there often, they would use that registration. When they do that, um, their information, when they get confirmed, goes into the entry list for you. It also goes into the contact list. So you have their address information, things like that. The one down here, this is event registration. So this is for a single event that's in the system. Um, so what I would recommend this for is for your bigger shows where you expect that you're going to have people from out of town. So you kind of have the idea that people aren't uh, people are going to be there that aren't normally there from week to week. So that's what I would use the single event registration for. Again, it's going to put their information into the contact list, which would put that information onto checks and onto certain reports that we have, namely that yearly 1099 payout report. But this one won't add the driver automatically into your driver lists. So it'll add them into the spot, into entries for pre-entries, but it won't necessarily add them into the big list of drivers that you have for weekly shows. The last one here is a general registration. This is to use for a lot of things. This is kind of a catch-all. So you can use this for if you just need to take down the name and address information and collect payment for different things. I've seen people sell, um, I've seen bowling. People at like a bowling event where they wanted to gauge interest and collect payment. I've seen people do pit members or crew members. They have their crew members all register. They're not drivers, so they do that here. You can do a lot with this one. Um, so three different ones that do three different things. This general registration won't go into the race management at all. So keep that in mind if you do need drivers to register for it. It's a kind of a separate sort of deal. If you need to add those, you can do that up here. You can only add one yearly registration per year. So each year you're going to have a different registration. So each year you have a different yearly registration. Um, you can add your event registrations here. It'll have you fill out which event you want to use for, and you can add a general registration here. So we do a single event. It'll have me search for that event up here and add in all of the information. It's going to pull from the class list for that date. So if you have any questions about adding those in, we did cover those in a previous webinar, or if you have questions about adding a schedule or how that would work, that'd be great for the common questions that's happening later on in this webinar. The general one, that's going to be a lot more general. So it's going to have open and close dates, when a late fee is, things like that. And this is pretty much going to be fairly cut and dried for what that is. You put in the title, and it's ready to go. If we can add more classes into our registration. It's going to try to pull from the ones that we added into the configuration spot. So when we added in our classes for configuration, we can do that. I clicked into that registration. You can see I can add a class up here. So if I wanted to add my snow bikes, I could. Similar to how we've added in classes there. In here, we can also change the open dates and close dates. We can add an entry fee, late fees. So this is going to be across all classes. So when I put in an entry fee, they only have to pay the entry fee once, so they can register for multiple classes. If you want them to pay per class, you'll put in that additional price. So if each class has its own price they have to pay. Same with the late fees there. You can do that. I also recommend when you're doing the opening and closing dates to set them to, instead of midnight, I try to set everything I have to 11:59. The reason for that is it just tends to work a little bit better to do 11:59 than midnight. This just goes back to other things that I've done. Generally, when you say midnight, people get confused as to whether or not that, if I said midnight, is that today? Is that tomorrow? 11:59, much easier, much more straightforward. We have the share button down here. We can actually share all of our different registrations, so we can share this right here. Those, if we have Facebook and Twitter linked, we can share those to our Facebook and Twitter pages. We also can see the individual registrations in here. So let's register for a driver. So I clicked here. This is going to be my yearly registration. I am going to pick Matt to register for my 360s, and we'll hit continue. Matt's actually registered for a few different things already. He's actually done the 410s before here. He's also registered for the big race. This will show all of the different registrations that he's done in the past. So you can copy all this over, or you can put in new information. Let's say he moved. It needs to update that. So you can actually copy this over. So let's take a look at what his form looks like. So he's able to change up here. He's able to change the driver. When he logged in, it's going to be the drivers that were claimed on his profile. He could claim his profile by going to MyRacePass.com, searching for himself, and claiming his own profile. So we'll see Matt's name and address here, the email that it goes to, date of birth. We have some nicknames, jacket size. Then he also has owner information, so this is going to add the owner for him. It's going to update that for us. We can put who the payout's going to, so the owner's getting paid there. We have our requested car numbers. If he wants to register as a rookie, all of that, emergency contact here. So we can have some time to review it. We have our terms and conditions. I'll show you where we can add that in just a second. We are able to now take a look. We can confirm it. We can agree to the terms and conditions. This would also be where they'd pay. So we can actually link up a PayPal account. So if you give an email to us, we can actually link that up to your PayPal. They're good to go. So we'll hit complete registration. So it is complete. It's going to send him an email that his registration did go through. And now when we go to our registrations and refresh the page, our 360 sprint class has a new driver in it. So we can see Matt. We can confirm this driver. So it's gonna, so when he claimed his profile, it has that profile information in there for him. So it's gonna link those together. So it's gonna, in an attempt to try to stop us from duplicating or picking the wrong driver, it knows Matt claimed himself, so we know who he is there. If we're absolutely certain that he picked the wrong one or he was confused, we think he just did not get that right, we can request a new competitor right here. He put down that he has an owner, so you'll see that team box here. So we can click this. He does have an owner already, so we'll just use that same information for him. If we needed to create a new one, we could actually see all of his previous owners. We could see all of our owners in here. We'd also create a brand new one there. We'll add in that car number. This will allow us to, if we ever needed to add in a additional entry or a duplicate entry for like a duplicate car number, we could do that here. That's going to be more for like a special event kind of thing. So you don't duplicate a car number for the same class. We'll confirm it. And now we can see he is confirmed. He is good to go. We have an invoice here. This would tell us all the PayPal information. Right now, it was 0, so it's a pretty plain invoice, but we could see and print that out. We also can see the individual registration form that he has. This one we're able to print out and put in the Social Security tax information, have them sign that, so we can collect that and keep that for our records. Yep, and as mentioned here, some folks don't confirm it until they have all of their information, and you can do that too. So on all of these, if you have a pending registration, let's go through real quick and add his information here. You're still able to print out this form. So that registration form here, you can print this off. And then once you've received this back, then you can confirm it, which is what was mentioned in the chat. But here we can see that he has paid us. He has everything in there. And then now that I have his information, we can confirm him again. We're also able to add a registrant here. So if we have a driver that we can confirm them here. So we'll just type to search that driver's name. We can put in a team for Paul. Does not have one. So let's add a new one. We'll name him that. I'll let him add in the car, and his car number is 55. So if they've already given us the information here, we can put that in and add it. So it's going to be the same as his form. You can see that filling this out can take a little bit. So yeah, you're also able to go in and finish that there. That's if you wanted to fill that in there for him. I don't recommend doing that. You have to read driver's handwriting. Driver's handwriting can be kind of bad. Can be kind of bad sometimes. If you'll excuse me, sorry. Not saying that every driver has bad handwriting. I just encountered a lot of drivers that haven't had the best. So you have to kind of work through that. Having the driver fill that in will work out a lot better. We're also able to edit any information here. So if Kale came up and said, I forgot, I actually have a car owner now, we could do that. We could also assign cards through here, MRP cards. We could also change the class. So we could change him to a completely different class if he filled out the wrong thing. So if he just completely spaced it, he wasn't a 305. He completely missed out. He was actually an Enduro. Very similar classes, happens all the time. You could change that over. So yeah, you can see there we still have our pending registration. we could fill that out and finish it. So you saw that I had a few messages there. So terms and conditions, welcome messages. Uh, we can actually adjust that ourselves. We do that right here in the registration messages in the settings. So we can get our first instance of a super page inside of here. So this lets you fill in the content as you see fit. I like to think of them as Legos, so you can kind of build out each individual section the way that you want it to be. Some of these different ones here, you have a headline, so this is going to be bigger, more prominent. It's going to have a little subtext, kind of like a by, not necessarily a byline, but kind of the thing under a headline, a subheading, I guess is what you would call it. A simple paragraph, so you can have a full paragraph. You can have an image with that paragraph. This is where the meat of the article is probably going to go. You can have a list, a bulleted list, a couple columns. You could use that for a page list if you wanted to. You could have a file download. So let's say you wanted to put the rules in. You could put in a file download on that, and it'd be there. If you wanted to put in a big photo or a video with a caption, you could do that with the media item. You could do a whole bunch with the gallery. The blank section and the HTML are for more computery type people. It actually gets a little bit above even me. But if you know how to do HTML, you can do more with that in general. Most of the time I see these kind of here used the majority of the time, but you do have these options down here at the bottom. Same with the terms. The terms, in this case, my terms were a simple paragraph. But if I wanted to add in a headline, now people know I mean business. We're also able to move these around up or down, edit them, show them, make them inactive. But that would be how the super pages work and how we could content that out for these. This will actually work for all the registrations. So all the registrations will see this beforehand, see the terms and conditions. So keep that in mind. So you can share that out. If you have a website through MyRacePass, we'd be happy to link that up to that website. You can take the link to this. If you don't have a website through MyRacePass, that's totally fine. You can add a link to this wherever this button goes. It's going to be different for each of you. And on MyRacePass itself, if we were to search for our profile, so we go to your favorite track, you actually can see all the registrations here too. And click on those registrations and register right from here. So that's where the drivers can see all of that information or get to that information. Lots of different places to do it. There. So that was confirming drivers. On the topic of that, we also have a little bit here about duplicate drivers. So if you ever see a driver who is duplicated or that you feel is duplicated, there's a specific format that I would like you to put those in. So I've actually created a duplicate so that you can see it. So this is my good driver. This is my bad one. Now, if you send these to me, or if you have the duplicates that you want to send, what I would do is you'd put good and then the link to what you feel is the good profile and bad and a link to the bad profile for those, and you repeat it. So if you had others, you do the good profile and the bad and multiple bad if there's multiple, unfortunately. It does happen. And then I can review those there. This lets me know exactly which driver you're talking about. Lets me see kind of there. If you want to add a little explanation as to why you think they're duplicates, if you don't think it's immediately obvious to me, that's fine as well. But if you put that into this form or to the good and then this link and the bad and then this link, that will speed up the process of me fixing a duplicate driver much, much more quickly. So I can get to those a lot faster and move over all the results and things like that. So try to keep it to that format, the good and the link, bad, link. I got to that by going to MyRacePass.com and searching for the names of the drivers that I was looking for there. You might also see there are drivers that have Z's in front of their names. So you can see I have a couple here. What that means, if you see Z's like that in front of their names, those are bad drivers. So those are duplicate drivers that I've kind of quarantined from the main spot. So I will try to remove them from your driver lists as best I can if I find them in there. But if you do see a Z'd out driver, don't add them in. If you scan a card and it's Z'd out, just take the card from them. Let them know that that's a bad card. And if it's for a sanction, you can have them issue them a new card if they need them for the good profile. But if you see those Z'd out profiles, just avoid them. Just know that they are kind of in a holding pattern. We're just waiting to take those and put them into, combine them together. So we want to make sure we're avoiding doing that, or avoiding adding them in. And when I do that, I am just changing the name over. So if you do see a Z'd out name instead of a registration, that's fine. It is going to get updated. It is going to get fixed. If you see them in the driver list too, just avoid adding them in there. They are a duplicate driver. And again, can't stress enough, just send me the links to the profiles so that I know what you mean, and then I will be able to process it from there. So Alt and H is this place to ask any questions. I'm going to be going through all of the questions that are asked. So there's a spot specifically for those. I'm going to pause for just a bit and we'll go right into online tickets. But Alt and H, if you do have any questions, good to go. So I'm going to go into season management and I'm going to go to an event that I have. We're going to add tickets for it. So let's add to, already added to the big race. That's why it has it. So let's go to this 410 event. So when we're adding tickets, we want to make sure that we're putting in as much information that we have as possible. So opening times, a name for it. Want to make sure that it's engaging. We're showing the our potential audience, grabbing their eye and giving them more information, more details. So try to do more than what I have here. Put some more information about it. So ideally fans don't ask you about it. Want to avoid all those questions. But then we're also going to want to add tickets to this event. So we'll click add tickets right there to the individual event. We have the name of the event here. We'll want to probably do something a little bit more punchy than the name of the track and the date. So do try to just make it have a little bit more, try to make every night kind of feel unique if you can. When they're available too. So I'm actually going to set it to a little bit before because I want them available now. You can though, if you do want to just hold off and kind of add everything but make it a surprise or have them available at a specific time if you think that people are going to kind of crash the gate on you. You could put in the different available time. We're also going to have them available until, by default, it's going to be the day before. So again, we're going to have a different time there. I'm just going to do 11:59 just because, again, we want to make sure that people know what everything, when exactly it ends. We also can do a pre-sale. So if people buy before a specific time, so like Friday the 13th. If you buy before Friday the 13th in the evening, you'll get a special price. So we can do that. So after that's all set up, we can put if the event is canceled, what will happen, if it's a rain check or a refund. This is important because it is, what will be done. Then we can also set the name. So each one of these has kind of a suggested name, and they're all going to be kind of grouped together, but you can change these if you want. So one that I always see is there's an age limit for kids, so they do kids 10 and up, for example. But in any case, you are going to need an availability and a price. We can do that pre-sale price now. I'm just kind of making up numbers on the fly. Again, we're going to make sure we have our availability. I always say to kind of aim for the fences and go for as many as you can. This is the limit. You always can change it too, you know, if you want. But if there's a set number, you can put those down. We also can do pit passes. These will be separated out. We'll add them. And now that event is live. It is added and ready to go. We can share this event, again, through Facebook and Twitter right now. And I highly recommend that you do that. The more that you share things out, the better received it will be, the more people know that they're able to buy those tickets. So let's go here to the tickets page. We have that event that we just created, and let's take a look at it. So I'm just going to set it to disabled. I don't want people to buy it. So this is if they can see it or not. We also can feature it. This means it's going to keep it more towards the top even after we add in other events. We can see who has bought the tickets, and we can use the scanner on the tickets from here. I'm going to bring up a past event so you can see what that specifically looks like. Here's another share button that you have as well. We can edit these information here, what's available. But the one that's really important is this edit ticket status. So after the event is over, so the night of the 10th, after it's done, what we'll do is we'll go edit ticket status. It will text us a phone number based on what we put down on the ACH form. We'll put in that verification code and put in if the event ran as planned or if it was a rainout. Then we will handle the rainout depending on what you put down when we created the event. If it ran as planned, we'll deposit the funds into your account the following Tuesdays when we do that. We do the Tuesdays because we also handle, if you're doing refunds, we do those. We also do chargebacks on those. So we handle some of that available as well. So I'm going to go into an event that has passed. You're also able to see the sales here at a glance. So what I'd recommend doing is the day that the event happens, go into this ticket sold, printing this off. We can actually separate this out. So just my pit pass purchasers. Let's see that. Just print this off for the people at the back gate. We could use this as will call, where someone will bring in the actual form and we cross them off the list, or we can scan those off in the redeem window. So I'll show that redeem window right here. So they could click on that. We could enter in the number, or we could click on it and redeem it. If they tried doing that, putting in a ticket that was redeemed, it won't let them. So we could put in a voucher. So let's do this number. So it's redeemed. If I try doing that again, it won't let me do that. What's to stop someone from claiming a refund after the show was ran? Those refunds are all or nothing. So they actually can't, like I said, we do, if there's any kind of disputes or anything, we will handle anything like that. So if there's a refund because of rain, we handle all of them, but it's an all or nothing kind of deal. So they can be mad all they want, but they'll probably won't get their money back. So on those here, we can also put in our rainout policy. So your favorite track has a policy here. Again, these are going to be super pages. So we can put in that. So that'll be something people see. We can put in the thank you message that people see after they buy the tickets for that event. Do that right here about what the next steps are. We can put in coupons. So for the vouchers, so my vouchers, I put in different coupons. We can put in sponsor logos. I've done a few things here, worked with some sponsors, do some things to kind of do some promotion on those. You can do as much or as little on that as you would like. I do have a sample voucher that I can show off as well. Maybe give me one sec, I'll pull that up for y'all. This is a great time too. If you have any questions, Alt and H is the spot to do that. I'll be answering any questions that folks have. So this is a sample event that we have here. You can see this is the coupons that were here, the scan vouchers, the rain, the check-in policy. All of that is right here. So they'll be printed off as individual vouchers. So that is an option that you all have there for online tickets. Some things with the online tickets, you get 100% of the profits from the tickets sold. So if your tickets were $20, you get $20 per ticket. There is a $1.90 per ticket fee and a variable subtotal that's dependent on the card that they use. Generally, it's never more than a couple bucks of ticket fees for that. Drivers who claim their profile and have a plan through MyRacePass also can get their own special links to sell tickets for you. And if they do, they get $1 for each ticket that they sell. That doesn't come out of what you guys get for your profits. So your drivers can be incentivized to be salespeople for you. It's a pretty cool program. And if you want to get started on that or have any questions about it, let us know. We're always happy to get you ready to rock and roll. It does come with the vast majority of plans for everybody. So it is something to do. It is also part of the rewards program we have with MyRacePass, along with the transponder integration and apparel. So if you hit the goals that we have with those, you get money off of next year's subscription. So I mentioned apparel there as one of the options. So let's transition into apparel options. So we have a lot of different options for apparel. Really, all you need to pay for is just the design. So you would pay for either the level 1 or level 2 design. We'll get some materials from you, but then you get your own store on our marketplace. If you have a website, we put that on there. It's also available on the app. You can there's spots where you can get those, and the tickets are also available on the app. So fans are available to see that. Um, so you have that option. So in there, let's take a look at some. So the level 1 here, we have these kind of generic out for your favorite track. We actually match this to what you guys do. So if you picked TS3 and you didn't run these classes of cars, we'll change that over for you to what you run. We'll put your logo there. We can put sponsor logos, your website, and we'll give you a list if you want to go with that of what you have, what we'll need from you on there. So these level 1s are proven designs. You choose the one that you want to go with, and we get those ready for you. We also have level 2, which has more of a free form kind of design here. You pick the car that you want to use, the cars. We lay those out and we kind of do something a little bit more special for you guys. So that is an option that you guys have, the level 1 and the level 2. I have a question. If you already have a print ready design, reach out to us direct. We'll work something out. We can actually take some of those design files if they're in the right format. It gets a little specialized, so that's why I'll have you reach out to us direct. But we can actually work something out. We can do that. So we can get that up and into the marketplace so that you can use it as the dropship apparel. Yep, I have a question. 100 and 300 is the design fee. So level 1 is 100, level 2 is 300. And with that, once we put those onto the marketplace, those are actually made as they are ordered. So what I mean by that is instead of ordering a lot of the individual apparel, as a fan orders those designs, we create them and ship them out individually. So let's go into our marketplace, show you what the market, so the different stores that we have available. So you can see all the stores. You'll get your own store in here as well. And I'll take a look at the track t-shirts. I just pick one at random. So here we have a logo shirt. We can do those for you too as kind of a level 1. If you want one with just your logo on it, we can do that for you. But here you see all the different options that we have available. So what they do is they actually are able to set the profit that they want to make. So they set the margins on those, and then they make the margins for each item that they sell. So we have a lot of different customization options. This is all the different colors. There's different colors that we can turn on or off. Odds are that there's certain shades here that they didn't want to because they conflict with the design. So we'll shut some of those off with your discretion. We can have a lot of different sizes here, youth sizes. You can see that we have lots. If we wanted a navy, kind of a big guy, so we'll get that. You have those options there available. A lot of different options, and then you get the funds into your account each month, so you get those profits there. You set what you want the prices to be, and then you can do that. So you can share out that link. You're actually able to manage that inside of the web management page. Inside of the store here in the products, there's the product lookup. This is where you're able to adjust the margins on each of the items. So you get all of those, comes with the design fee, just pay the design fee, and then you make the profit for each item that you sell. Again, also part of the rewards program as well as tickets. The prices for that, I had a question if they're in USD, Canadian dollars, or track dependent. All the prices are going to be in USD at this time. So all are going to be in US dollars. Excuse me. The question is, what are the prices to print, and are they screen print or direct? They're DTG, so they're dropship apparel items. The prices, specifically, I have a chart. If you're interested, I can get you the full list. We do have a lot of different items. It also depends on if they are double-sided or not for the design. It depends on how much work we have to do, so that changes the cost of the item. Know that though, for a double-sided regular shirt, so non-canvas, it's 15 per. So whatever you set in addition to that. So you can see that I believe they had it at 20, so they made 5 a shirt. All right, Tommy. Hey, if you would like to email me direct, support MyRacePass after this is over, tomorrow we can get in touch with you. And I'll also make a note to do that as well, or have someone reach out to you. But in case I don't, just reach out to us, support@myracepass.com, and we'll get you set up and ready to go with that. But I'd be happy to do that. And if you have any questions, this is the time here. We're going to open it up. for the kind of common questions. Could be about anything we've gone over or not. So feel free to ask away. AltNH is the place to do that. You can message that to me direct if you would like to keep that kind of just between us. I won't tell. I'll answer the question and keep it a secret. And odds are, if you have a question, someone else out there does too. So feel free. We're going to leave it open to questions. Like I said, answer any questions you have that are about anything here or anything I haven't gone over. This is your time to do those. So while I'll rate out some questions, I'm gonna go back here into online registration. And again, you do have this ability here to kind of set the different prices. We can link that up to PayPal. I do highly recommend it because again, it goes into the contact list right here. So everybody that registers for me online or has raced with me, you can see that we don't have their address here. They have this no record. We have their existing record here. So we can see that we have Barry Bratwurst's address there. About that person. So give me one sec here. Yep, I can do that, Ron. Just give me 1 second, and I'll get that pulled up for you. I can't link to Venmo for registration payments, unfortunately. Only PayPal at this time. So this is the, excuse me, this is the sample here for that. Like I said, you have the two barcode areas here. Those were for that redeem. Right here, we have the vouchers, the coupons here. That's where they would go. When you have the rain out, how do you make the tickets you've already sold valid for the next similar event? That's a great question. So what you would do is you would print out that sold tickets list again, and then depending on how your track honors the rain out, you would just add that into the pool of next tickets. So you'd take that list of printed out sold tickets. So let's go back to our list. So if bike night rained out and we wanted to do that, we'd take this list and add it to our list of people. So we'd have both, and then just let the people at the front gate know that they are good to go for that event. Cross them off the list as normal, and then you just have this list right along with it. Cross them off. You could also have the window open for both redeems, since it will know. Well, that's a good question, though. So we also have, I'm going to take this time to promote kind of our next webinars here. So the next one will be in 8 days, March the 4th, 5:30 and 6:45. March 4th, the day that's also a sentence. We're going to be going over a full race night, both IMCA and WSOTA. If you're not part of those sanctions, though, that's fine. You can hop in on those. Be happy to walk you through those. It does have a lot of similar aspects to both. Also doing rainouts and cancellations, printing checks, points pay, results, MRP Live. Should be a really a really fun one, both for 5:30 and 6:45, and later that week on March the 7th, that's Saturday show at 3:15 and one at 5:30. We're going to be doing race nights again, but we're going to mix it up. We're going to be doing I'll probably be doing passing points for those, or different sorts of lineup calculations that we have. So we're going to be mixing it up on those days, and then that next week, the second week of March, we're going to be closing out all of our webinars. We have some March 10th and March the 12th. All of these can be found at myracepass.com/live-training. And I'm pretty sure we'll be emailing everyone as well, just letting people know. But if you have people that do want to attend, be sure to let them know. Spread the word. But we're going to be leaving it open here for a little bit. I'll take the time now to put in the attendance. If you want to take your name and what track you were with, I will use that to record attendance. Give that to the sanction, or also enter you into the drawing that'll be happening sometime after the 12th. So the had a question if the management webinars are all video or are they live? Those are going to be in the same format as these. So they're going to be exactly like these, where I go through a night of racing. You'll be able to see my screen. Also, all of the videos are being recorded. They are all on our YouTube page. This very one will be on YouTube tomorrow, probably tomorrow morning. I try to get those added in before noon Central Time. So yeah, all there. You can actually find it at myracepass.com/YouTube. You can also go to help videos right here. That takes you to our YouTube page. We have the webinars here. You can actually see yesterday's are already added in. Also on this page, we have the help and support that goes over everything that we went over and more. So yeah, be leaving it open for a few more minutes here. So if you do have any questions, now is the time. Alt and H is the place to do that. Leaving it open for a few more minutes for questions. I'll leave it open longer the more questions that I get. But yeah, and again, a lot of different information, a lot of things that you can do to promote for that. So if you have any other questions, don't be afraid to reach out to us as well. Support at myracepass.com. We'll get you to someone here. I am actually going to be out of the office Thursday, Friday, and Monday. So if you do try to reach out to support, someone will help you out. But if you have mine directly, you might get a responder. So just let let us know. But yeah, looks like everybody looks like we all seem to be good. Again, support myracepass.com if you have any questions. Thanks so much for taking the time to sit through the webinar. We really do appreciate that. I will be seeing you all again, hopefully Wednesday. So have a great night. Even better tomorrow. Have a good night.